Oh, I hit the mic. Hello. This is another unhinged, unplanned, but planned video by me, Deja. I have been wanting to record a video on how I became an astrologer for like a week and a half, and I just have not felt the motivation or the energy to film or record. And then something came to me. I was like, I really want to paint. And I don't paint like that. And I was like, but I really want to record this video. Like, how am I? And then I was like, oh my god, you can chat about how you became an astrologer while you paint. What an incredible idea. So that's what I'm doing. I hope this isn't too bad. I'm also fried, if you couldn't tell, but that's when the best videos are made, when you're inebriated. So why not? Actually, I have to grab my notebook. I don't know where it is. I think it's in the other room because I wrote some notes down before, like last week, when I knew I wanted to do this, because I was like, I want to make sure that I give people like good and useful information, regardless of like however this comes out. I want to make sure that I'm just like really straightforward and honest about my journey and what that has been like. I'm not gonna do like the long-winded how I got into astrology, but like kind of at the same time, because I feel like I got into astrology. No, that's not true. I've always known my sun sign. Like, I always knew I was a Sagittarius. And then when I pulled up my birth chart, it just makes so much sense. I just have a 9th house Sag sun. Obviously, my sun sign really resonated with me throughout my life. And just having 9th house placements generally, I was very drawn to like these sorts of studies, these sorts of fields. I studied philosophy in undergrad and political science, so I'm very interested in like human stuff, and I think that's really important. Also, to preface this again, or not again, but like to preface other things, I have always been online, like all my life. And I'm young, I'm 23, as you guys all know, so the internet for me has just, I grew up with it in a way, not really, but like I kind of did. So me and like computer life are very, very familiar. And I was obsessed with Tumblr in high school. It literally destroyed my life. I ran a humor blog and I didn't really care how many followers I had. I didn't really care. I didn't care. I just like loved being on Tumblr. I loved being like this place. I loved being in this place where I could just like kind of spit stuff out, and not spit stuff out, but like share stuff into a void, and also just kind of escape from life and feel welcomed, you know what I mean, in a space where it's like it didn't really matter, like no one really knew who you were. And I love that. I love Tumblr. I miss Tumblr so much, and I know other people out there who were on Tumblr. I know you miss it too, because it was top tier. If you want to check out my humor blog, it's still up. 2 trillion chains with 2 Z's.tumblr.com. Before they like shut it down, my blog was so cute. It was so cute. But then they shut it all down, as everything happened with Tumblr, and now it's just like the really ugly blue background and humor blog posts. But that's okay. But anyway, I'm saying all this just to let you all know and give you some context as to like my life and why I feel like I was able to become an astrologer as quickly as I feel like I did. Like, honestly, truthfully, I feel like my journey, I'm self-taught. I taught myself astrology. I did not take a course until months and months, an astrology course, months and months after I had already started my practice. Like, I had already been meeting with clients, and I'm really proud of that. But the amount of attention that I gave astrology in my astrology studies, I feel like is peculiar and special for a couple, not special, that's not the right word, but just peculiar for a few reasons. I was in school, I was in undergrad, and I had a lot of free time. Like, I had a part-time job, but it wasn't anything too wild, but I had a lot of free time in undergrad, so I just really learned a lot of astrology. And 2, even after that, okay, wait, actually, let's back up. I'm gonna stop, and I need to rethink, and I really need to grab my notebook, because that actually has all my notes in it as to how I became an astrologer. and I don't want to give you guys long-winded stories because I will sit here and tell you about everything, even though I was literally like, I'm not going to tell you my whole how I got into astrology story, but I feel like it matters. So I'm going to go grab my notebook. I'll be right back just so I can get back on track. And I also need to set up my paint so that I can start painting because I haven't even. It really does start with practice and studying. My astrology journey to becoming an astrologer really began with simply studying and learning astrology. And that's a huge part of it. Like, you have to study hard and you're not going to learn it all overnight. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like sometimes people, and maybe it's like I think it's like, I don't know what it is, but people kind of view astrology and even tarot as like a trend. And it's like, no, this stuff has outlived all of us. Like, we have to treat it with a little bit more respect and dignity than that, I feel like. But I don't know, people sometimes, I feel like, read stuff on Cafe Astrology and they're like, I know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna start giving readings. But no, you can't do that. I'm sorry, that's just disrespectful. Like, you have to take your time. And I'm not gonna tell you what taking your time looks like, because for me, taking my time was like 2.5 years, you know what I mean? But for other people, taking your time, maybe 10 or 5 or 1, and it's okay. Like, I'm sure you're doing great work. As long as you're well learned and you're well studied, I'm sure you're doing great work, you know? So that's what I will say about that. But studying is so important, and it never stops. Studying and practice never stops. Like, you are always going to have to learn in order to continue to meet with clients, in order to continue to practice astrology and to like forecast things or to elect things or to do horary or to whatever. You're going to have to keep learning because you're going to keep interacting with different charts. And as you continue to interact with different charts, you have to be able to learn how to synthesize for whatever chart is placed in front of you, you know? And learning how to do that takes practice. And that's why I personally, and I don't know if I've done this super explicitly or not, but I always encourage people, if they've been studying astrology for 6 months, and when I say studying astrology, I mean reading books, listening to podcasts, webinars, or going to conferences and really kind of digesting this info on your own, taking the time to learn about each thing and pulling apart each layer of it all. That's what I mean by studying, not like just reading Twitter threads. Like, I don't know. Yeah, Twitter definitely has some really great resources, and I definitely got a lot of like inspo and like springboards off of Twitter, but the real learning happens elsewhere. Like, it does. I'm sorry. Okay. Especially now. Like, I think like 2017, 2018 Astro Twitter, people were cranking out threads, you know what I mean? But then also people realized that people weren't respecting their work and they were just super entitled, so they had to stop doing that, which it totally makes sense. But even within that, now this is a great opportunity for us all as a community to pay other astrologers and to consult with other astrologers and to get readings from other astrologers and to pay for their services and to pay for their Patreons and those sorts of things. Like, that's also how you kind of are helping and not even stimulating, but supporting the community, you know, by literally giving your friends money. But okay. So, and also that really helps you to study astrology yourself. Like, I got a reading from Kirah, I want to say about a year ago in May. And so it was May of 2020. I was so excited. I was like saving up money. I was like, oh my God, Kirah. It was also really funny because I knew that we went to the same high school and like middle school, but she didn't realize who I was. And then I was like, yeah, we actually both went to the same school. And she was like, oh my God, that's so wild. How our paths. Yeah. Anyway, so shout out to Kirah of the astrology. I am a student of her and her work, and she's incredible and absolutely amazing. But anyway, I got a reading from her, and that really kind of helped me and gave me the reassurance that I needed, that like, okay, my interpretations weren't wild, like I was on the right path, I had the framework down. Like, just kind of running by your thoughts and your theories with other astrologers really does kind of go a long way. And honestly, truthfully, I feel like if you were to just like, I don't really know what the best method is for that, but other than just booking a reading with them, just pay for their time. That's all you can do, and they deserve to be paid for that, because when you get to that point, you're also going to deserve to be paid for that as well. I think I said that right. So, okay, let me stop talking about this really quick and open my notebook. I have this sketch from like forever ago. Here it is. And I hope I can do something with it. Can you see? All right, let's get out some colors. How many little zoomy thingies are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 colors. I think I'm gonna do like pink, blue, green, and maybe like orange. Or purple. I don't know, we'll see. But pink and blue and green, definitely. I'm also gonna put my iPad down because like I don't need this. Ah! Okay. Alright. Moving that back. I used my fisheye lens because I knew that like if I didn't use this, you guys wouldn't be able to see my desk. And I wanted you to be able to see my desk because I'm painting, and that's like half of the point of this video, I guess. Alright, I think I need some different fonts for this one. I think this one is a good one. This one is a good size. Yeah, wow, I'm very fried. This one's good too. I think I start with this one. This one's pretty small. I'm not a painter, so don't come for me. But, oh, I have to open my notebook back up so that I can stay on track, or else I'm going to like... It's going to be so bad. If you get a Sagittarius off track, it's over. Like, it's absolutely over, and I know this as a Sag. So I always try to make sure that I remember to stay on track. Stay on track. Okay. Practice studying. Oh, another method of practice. Give free readings. I don't think I should have... When I first started like my practice, first I came out the gate and I was like, I'm a student astrologer. And I tweeted and I posted on Instagram and I was like, hey, everybody out there, like I am a student astrologer and I want to start giving readings, so DM me. And at first they were for free, but I think I would really recommend you to charge money. Like giving readings for what, $20 for an hour? I think that's too low, but like for people out there who are like, I don't want to charge that much right out the gate, $20, $25 at least. Or you can do what I did and give them for free. You know what I mean? Like, another thing to make maybe this a little bit more manageable. And this is also really easy for me to say because I don't have a lot of responsibilities. Like, I don't have any children. I don't have rent that I have to pay. I live with my pop-up. I still live at home. I have student loans, but like, other than that, I don't have that many responsibilities. So my path is going to look a lot different from somebody else who has a lot of responsibilities or who has like a full-time job that really is demanding or things of that nature. So just keep all of this in mind and keep all of this in perspective and try to adjust within the context of what you can do. Because something that I really recommend is like having a part-time job or having a job and giving readings for free, like at nights if you have the energy, or over the weekends or something like that. Or maybe you don't even do readings. Maybe you just start out by writing horoscopes and then you just build a following off of that. You know what I mean? Like, there's different methods of getting that practice and doing the least amount of labor for the most value for you as a practitioner in the long run. We have to remember this, like, your work is valuable and you deserve to be paid for your work, and you deserve to be paid for your energy and your time. And if you are a little hesitant or if you feel impostery about it, that's where I feel like part of it is meeting with another astrologer. That really helped me to feel more confident because I was like, okay, great, like I know what I'm doing, but also that costs money. So there's a lot of things that you have to kind of consider. And I always think about like the 11th house, 2nd house square between these two things, because like in order to make these connections and to create a network, you're gonna have to put out some bread, and that's hard, and money is hard. So if this is difficult for you and if this process takes a while, it's okay. Astrology is not going anywhere. And honestly, truthfully, I feel like this is my Saturnian self about to zoom in here, but I honestly, truthfully feel like the more diligence you give this and the more patience you have with it, the outcomes and the fruits of your labor will be even greater. You know what I mean? Well, not even greater, but they'll just be solid. And that's really important for me. My Cap Midheaven, I need that. Like, I need to know that I'm setting up a good foundation for my trajectory. Like, my trajectory in life may not always be giving astrology readings, but I know that, like, these are my people. The woo-woo spiritual people are my folks, and I have a good foundation and a good understanding of what the heck they're talking about because I studied astrology. You know what I mean? So things like that. But studying, playing with various techniques, giving free readings if you have the money to do so. If not, charge. And the people who are there for you, the people who are supposed to come into your path will come. And that's a whole other topic. And this is actually going to get kind of long, so I'm sorry for this. But the people who are supposed to come to you will come, but they will come even faster and in greater number if you are communicating and showing up authentically. I honestly feel like something else that really helped me after I did a whole summer's worth of free readings and I was just like accepting tips. I was given the opportunity to take Witch and Famous, which is a digital brand strategy course by Captolia Eaton of The Digital Witch. And it was like one of the greatest opportunities I've ever had in my entire life, because had I not learned what I learned in that course, I do not think that I would have been able to show up and vocalize my true motivations and intentions with my astrology practice as cohesively and as like explicitly as I was able to. I don't think I would have been able to do that. I learned some really good sayings. Like, for astrologers out there, take out your pencils. Like, you have to ask yourself some questions. You have to ask yourself, who am I? Like, what am I doing? You're an astrologer. Great. Okay, fabulous. But like, who are you? Right? Who are you here to serve? Or like, who are you? What do you do? Do you give readings? Do you write horoscopes? Do you do horary? Are you an electional astrologer? Who are you here to serve? Who do you give these elections to? Who do you give these birth chart readings to? What does your ideal client look like? And something that Captolia said to us that really stuck with me and has stuck with me ever since is that it's okay to exclude people. You don't want to give readings to everyone. You think that you do because you think that it's going to give you more money and and broadens your horizons and then casts your net really wide and then therefore maybe you're able to get more clients. No, because then if you do that, you're going to be meeting with people who you don't want to meet with. We're not here for everybody. We're not here to please everybody. And that's totally okay. Like, that's okay. It's all right. It's all right. I promise. Like, I promise you. I promise. You can say, I'm an astrologer and I meet with people who are trying to... something that I've seen actually is like... astrologers who are really interested in kind of like helping people to like take care of themselves more, like self-care, you know what I mean? And that's like their perspective. For me, my astrology was always for the sake of helping people to kind of understand themselves, and then therefore with that process of understanding their authenticity, they're then through the context of a chart and having that agency of a birth chart, knowing like the sorts of energies that are at play within your life and the power that gives a person, the autonomy that gives an individual, and letting people know that like, hey, like, your life is important, your life matters, and I'm just here to help you and to show you that like, one, you're not wild, like you're not crazy. All of the ideas and the experiences that you've had are 125% valid, and understanding them, understanding more about who you are is then going to help you to find, once again, more agency and more autonomy to experience life in the most like understanding way possible. I was just trying to help people to like raise their consciousness and to like raise their understanding, which is so ninth house sun of me, but you know, whatever. So honestly, really getting an understanding as to like what you're here to do for these folks, for the people that you're meeting with in readings. What are you here to do for them? And really getting, do I want this color or do I want that blue? No, I want this one. What are you doing? Who are you here to serve? and really becoming comfortable with owning up to like who you're here to serve. You know what I mean? Actually, I'm just gonna start with the blue. I'm hot. If you don't want to meet with straight white men, you don't have to meet with straight white men. I've never given a reading to a straight white man. And why? Because the way that I vocalize and I talk and I show up online I'm not doing it for white straight men. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just not for me. I don't know. But if that's your target audience, if that's who you're here to serve, so be it. I don't really care, but just getting clear on that and becoming comfortable with it, that's okay. It makes the world of a difference, and it makes the process and the journey that much easier. All right, I didn't really think this through, so I'm just gonna start going. All right, let's see what else. What's next? Practicing, just developing a target audience. Oh, and if you guys want to hear more about like target audience stuff or marketing or like advertising your business and like selling it, figuring out your brand and like your brand voice, etc., let me know in the comments below, because I honestly truthfully want to start making more content about like how I kind of came to be in this position that I am. Like, I was fully booked for March, and I feel like that was a really defining moment for me. You know what I mean? And I just really felt like, wow, I'm actually doing this, and like I'm actually an astrologer. That's actually really when it was real for me, you know? And I was like, oh no, I'm actually doing this. Like, way to go. But then I realized how I'm doing it isn't the way that is actually feasible for me, but that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, that's what all this is. It's a practice. Like, we're practicing. So anyway, next. Okay, practicing, studying. Oh, how else I studied? How did I study? I would listen to podcasts, and I would take as many notes as I possibly could. I also am subscribed to Kelly Surtees' monthly astrology guide. She makes forecasts for like the entire month. So I signed up for that, and it's absolutely amazing. And I also learned a lot from Kelly Surtees. Like, I've taken a lot of her workshops and her webinars. She has an incredible like data bank of like amazing lectures that she's given throughout her entire career, and it's absolutely incredible. So I would totally recommend that. And there's a ton of astrologers, especially older ones, that have those sorts of resources available on their website. You just have to go like, honestly, it's really about the process of like finding the astrologer and then going to their site and seeing what they have to offer. I think Kirah has her webinars available on her website. Austin Coppock has a couple available on his. I've learned from Austin Coppock a lot. Same thing with Chris. Chris has a whole course. Kelly has courses. Like, and these are people that I'm recommending because I trust them, because I've learned from them. And if you appreciate the astrology that I practice, you're hearing interpretations that's like stemmed from my learnings and my understandings from them. So that's why I always recommend them. Okay, moving on, studying and doing all of that. Another thing that I want to point out, I have a pretty cool 11th house stellium. It's not cool, it's actually kind of frustrating sometimes, but I have it. And Jupiter is doing pretty good. Jupiter's in joy and also on his own terms. So I just really think that that's also really important to preface. And whenever you're trying to figure out like how to make it in this community, in any professional community more specifically, you should really look at your 11th house. Look at what the ruler of your 11th house is doing. Look to see what's going on there. And if it's like cool stuff, then like maybe you'll have some cool experiences within the context of networking. If it's some not so fun stuff, then maybe you won't have some not so fun experiences within the context of networking. And you know what? That's just life. So I'm right there with you. The ruler of my 11th house is in fall, in Aries. So you know how we live. Oh, is it going? Oh, it's still recording. Okay, my computer screen just like went black. All right, what's next? Let's see. Oh, learning as much for as little as possible. As I was saying, podcasts are free. There's some really great like summits and conferences out there. Like the Fresh Voices Summit is coming up, and that's free. And I was just chatting with Kirah for the promo video for it. And I was like, I remember a year ago, like watching the Fresh Voices Summit and being like, having my little notebook ready and trying to learn as much as I possibly could because it was free. You know what I mean? And I didn't have the money to afford the all access pass to have the slides later. So I was in every single lecture, well, all the ones that I wanted to watch. And I was just trying to learn as much as I possibly could, you know? And that's what you gotta do sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta ball on a budget. And you have to figure out, like, how to do it yourself, especially when, like, you don't have the funds to do it the route that people would normally do it. And that's me. That's coming from me, somebody with Saturn in Aries. So trust me, I got you. And Mercury in Sag. So I really do understand the life of doing things the way that people don't normally do it. I really do understand. That's like my entire life. So we're in this together. Speaking of which, you know, my Saturn series is going on. So if you have Saturn in Aries, watch the Saturn in Aries video. If you have Saturn in Pisces, watch the Saturn in Pisces video. Saturn in Aquarius is coming out. I've just been doing a really bad job at planning right now. So just give me like a second. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay. Another thing that I used to do, and within my practice, I did a couple of things. I would write free horoscopes, for the month, for the rising sign. So that was really great practice for me. I did the free readings, as I said, and then I started charging for readings. I think I started charging like $35. And whenever you do readings for people, I would send them the recording, or if you have notes, send them your notes, and then also create like an intake form and get it. Okay, here we go. First, you need Acuity. Acuity has a Zoom integration. It'll schedule the Zoom meeting, it'll create the Zoom meeting, and you can make an intake form, so you can ask them all the questions that you want to ask them before you meet with your client. And it's amazing. My life was drastically improved when I got Acuity, and it's only like $15 a month. That's why I was saying you definitely need to start charging people for readings once you start wanting to do it a little bit more organized-y, like, and not through the DMs. I really don't recommend doing it through the DMs. I think Acuity has like a free tier, but I'm not 100% sure. Although I really recommend it. So, okay. Next, Acuity is amazing. You need that. Send people the recording, record to your computer and send people that. Also create like a testimonials thing. All I would do is create like a Google form thing, and I would ask people what service they got. You should ask, how did you hear about me? You should ask them that on the intake form, honestly, truthfully. For when you like send them the recording, you want to send them a Google form for testimonials. So you want to just start like acquiring and gathering testimonials even during the free readings. And that's where I kind of messed up. And it was fine because I've given so many readings, like the ones not getting testimonials for the free ones was like no big deal, but I would really recommend it. Like it's no problem to start collecting that data early on and read them. You know what I mean? Read what people say about the experiences that they had with you, and what they say can contribute to your brand messaging and all the things that you're sharing online. Like, what if people are like, I really loved their delineation of my fourth house or something like that, and people continuously are like, their interpretations of the fourth house and the IC really changed my world, da 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 da, and then you just become an astrologer that's like, whose expertise is the fourth house. You know, so listen to what your clients are telling you, because sometimes you don't necessarily see it for yourself, and it's always good to get another person's feedback and opinion. As a Leo moon, I definitely know the importance of feedback and validation. So please take what I'm saying seriously. If you want to, you don't have to though. But okay, yep, testimonials, start gathering that. Become friends with other astrologers or join astrology groups. Like, I was a member of Kirah's 11th house. That costs money too, but it's definitely worth it because you can make friends and you can just chat about astrology with other astrology people and other astrology nerds, and that's really fun. So you should definitely do that. Once again, you have to save up the money for that, but it's definitely worth it. And then you can, I'm pretty sure I have a Patreon that is also centered around community building. So we meet twice a month. We're actually having our first meeting today. Today's August 5th. It's Thursday. It's Jupiter Day. You know, this is not like another Jupiter hour video, but it's Mars hour where I am. And Jupiter's Moons is meeting up for the first time tonight, and I'm really excited. We're chatting about the notes, but the next one, I'm not sure when that's going to be. It's probably going to be a little later in the month. We're going to have 2 meetings per month, and I'm so excited to connect and to share stories about this eclipse season and just our nodal axis and all those sorts of things. And yeah, it's going to be really fun. But okay, just to like fellowship with other astrologers, like I love doing that. And it's not just other astrologers, it's like other people, enthusiasts and things of that nature who just like want to learn more. And my Patreon tier for Jupiter's Moons is literally only $15 a month, so it's not that expensive. And I really think it's a good investment and is something that is definitely worth your time. So consider signing up and becoming a patron. Let's see, anything else that I want to say? Yeah, get a part-time job before going all out. And you really have to just become comfy with showing up as yourself and just becoming comfy with yourself, becoming comfy like with what you want to do in this world and like what you don't want to do in this world, becoming comfy like with the type of astrology that you practice and like knowing it really well and just kicking it, you know what I mean? And just doing what you do. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. Most times the people who don't think they can do it are the ones who should be doing it the most, you know? So you heard it here first. You can do this. Start giving those readings. It's gonna be okay. Like, we all start somewhere, and sometimes you just have to get out there and you just have to start. So this is your message. This was the thing that you needed. Get out there and start giving readings. You can do it, I promise you. And if you don't think you can do it, as I said, put in the money, and if you can, and try to meet or connect with another astrologer to like verify that. You know what I'm saying? Just by listening to what they say, even, and asking yourself, oh, that's exactly what I was gonna say, then you're like, oh, I'm golden. I kind of know what I'm talking about, you know? But astrologers that you trust, that's another thing. Astrologers who have a really good understanding of the basics and who communicate things in a way that really kind of resonates with you. That's really important. And you'll find them. I promise. You'll find them, but take your time. The astrology community isn't going anywhere. We'll be here, and we are ready to accept you with open arms, especially me and other queer and of color traditional astrologers and astrologers, period. We're pretty cool and chill, as I see and as I learn. But yeah, okay. I think that's all I have to share on how I became an astrologer. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. I'd really enjoy that. And yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm not looking up. I'm just really enjoying this painting right now. This is actually very therapeutic. I didn't realize how much painting was going to be like in a really enjoyable experience. Okay, bye.